Charlie, how's it going?
It's going really well. I'm having a nice time. I'm very happy the song is being so well received.
It is so good to see you back and so good to see you back with music that we're all enjoying. But how does this happen just by accident?
Well, I think well, I mean, it did happen by accident because I was just not thinking, in my opinion, the best music is made when you're not thinking about making music.
Yeah.
And I was having fun thinking I was just going to show a little tutorial on how to make a song, and it turned into a real song. I didn't think it wasn't necessarily a joke song, but I never thought it would turn into something like this.
Well, it's funny because I've been following you on TikTok and I love that you put up a whole heap of different videos, not just you making music. And I love you put up recently, you did a duet with him where he was throwing bologna on the floor, making sounds out of the most inappropriate stuff. And he was like,
Yeah,
come on, Charlie.
yeah, everybody
Is
makes fun of me, but I'm used to it now.
But like, is every moment for you a possible recording, a possible song?
Everything is musical. Everything can be made to be musical. The sound of the ocean waves, that sounds, that could be like the background of like an intro or something. The way that I just moved my laptop, hit a everything has tonality to it, and there's always an opportunity to make music. And I most importantly just want to teach kids something that they might not necessarily have known musically before. Just trying to make it. I grew up in school where music was always like the dorky class. I'm trying to make it dorky but cool at the same time.
Yeah, and I love you're also trying to make it accessible as well,
Yeah.
because when you were growing up as well, this was before YouTube, before TikTok. It was an elitist thing. Unless you had the money, unless you had the equipment, unless you had people in the business, you weren't getting in. Is it great now that anybody can make music?
Yes. And but it's great that more people know that you don't necessarily have to have thousands of hours of training or like you said, the money for a private conservatory to pursue your dream of making music. It's almost like the biggest hits are made by people who don't even know how to play an instrument nowadays, which is very cool.
Because it comes from a place of passion. And
Yeah.
that's where you've always come from. And I remember I met you, the last time I met you was here in Dublin back in 2015. And so,
Baby,
yeah.
baby.
And like so much has happened for you and so much has changed. But then I was thinking, some things remain the same. Like at the time you were talking about, years before you'd started uploading your music to YouTube because you thought, that was a way to break in. And
Yeah.
now, before TikTok was even a thing, you started turning to TikTok to make your music. Why? How? And what did people think when you were mentioning? I think I'm just going to focus my energies here.
Yeah, please. Anything to spread the word about just the power of the internet. I don't know. To answer the first part of your question, I've just always been so obsessed with the internet. And the internet is just a breeding ground for people's reactions because that's really, if you think about it, that's what the internet is the most. It's for people reacting to things. It always has been like that. It's informative, sometimes not informative, sometimes it's stupid, but it's all just very sorry, I'm very comfortable with you right now.
Where are you? You're looking very comfy.
I am in my bed because I don't care anymore. I'm just kidding. I'm in my bed and I'm comfortable, and I feel like you're gonna get the best answers out of me that
Is it,
way.
is it nice, Charlie, to be at that point of your career where, and it's not that you don't care, you do care,
I
but
do care.
you're comfortable with who you are?
Yeah. I think when you met me in 2015, I didn't know what it was like to be an artist, and I maybe was putting a little bit of a front on. I was still a genuine person, but
And you were still a sweetheart. I listened back to that interview and I just went, "Oh my god, you were a
really,
real sweetheart."
well, that means a lot. Thank you. I try and remain as humble as I possibly can, because at this point there's nothing. I don't think I'll ever be totally impressed with myself. I think it's more of like a way to my being here is to teach music. If I weren't a musician, I would be teaching the music, and I just get a certain joy out of like imparting wisdom, if that makes sense. Whatever wisdom I have to offer.
Is it just the wisdom though, or is it, because it is great, as I said before, it's great to see you sharing, because a lot of people in this business go, if I know something, I need to keep it within, because if I share it with you, you might take my place. And that's not what happens. But it's more than just that, isn't it? It's not the wisdom, it's the connection that you have with people through your music. And that's why TikTok is amazing, because there are no barriers, are there?
No barriers, and people are being very vulnerable on TikTok, which in turn has made my composition skill more vulnerable. This album, I'm going to call it Charlie because it's my most personal work. It's the most vulnerable I've ever been. And yeah, that's a very artist thing to say, like, oh, this is my most vulnerable work ever. But it's a big deal for me because I've never put out music that's super vulnerable. Maybe a couple of songs, Attention and We Don't Talk Anymore, but I've never made an entire project that's the truth.
You put it all up on TikTok, right? And you've been sampling stuff up there. You've said that you want your fans to know all the titles of the songs that are going to be on the album before the album even drops.
Yeah.
How does your record label feel about that? Because especially now at this time where people can be sampled before something is even out there.
Good. There should be, that's what I want to happen next. Like when I was making Light Switch, I got so happy when there was a YouTube video with millions of views of the bootleg of somebody had meticulously spliced together all the TikToks into one song and put it up as a full quotation song on YouTube. And yeah, it sounded kind of wonky because some of the videos were recorded far away and some were recorded really close, but he or she put it all together to tempo, and people were listening to that because they were so deprived of the real version. And I just loved it. I don't know what that is, but I loved it.
That's probably going to be in your next song.
It could be. Yeah, don't test me. I might do it.
I'll remind you, I'll stick it up on TikTok and see if you can do something with it.
Exactly.
Charlie, how did you get to this point of being so comfortable?
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just trial and error whenever, and kind of growing up, being 30 now, I had so many times where I tried to be the cool guy, and it never quite resonated as much as me just uploading a video of me being myself, my dorky musical self, and not worrying about being the cool artist that needs to hold on to their music until the very end and then just surprise drop it. That works for a lot of artists that I love, but I'm just not that artist. I'm the oversharer artist. And maybe there's people out there who are listening to my stuff now thinking, oh, I wish I could be more of the oversharer as well. Well, good news, you can. Yeah. And people will connect to you even more that way.
I do love that you overshare, but then I did have a panic when all of a sudden your Instagram goes dark, you get rid of everything. And the panic's not, where is he? The panic is, I put myself in that position and go, if I lost everything, and I know you did it on purpose, but like, if I got rid of everything on my Instagram, I'd have palpitations. Tell me you've archived some of that stuff. Because like when you look back, it's a great history of who you are.
It is. And I archive everything. I don't know how.
Thank goodness.
I don't know how to delete everything. I just, the truth is I didn't even do it. I just told somebody, hey, I want to put new music out now. I'm going to do a clean slate on most of my social media, which is more just an aesthetically pleasing thing to do. It's not like you need to do that. For me, I just was like, this is a new, as the stands call it, era.
Yeah.
So might as well just start it off right.
Well, you have a lot of stands, and I loved, again, it was another duet, and he turned around and says to you, the next time I see one of your TikToks, you making a song from some random sound from this app, and you're not giving us the album, you and me are going to be personally fighting outside.
I will love it. I will lose that fight, but I physical fight. Nobody was getting irritated with me years ago for not putting an album out. I considered my music to be more of the passive. Um, you just hear it and be like, oh, I like that song. Now people care about, or seem to care about, my music as a whole, like as a whole project, which is why I'm very excited about Light Switch, because it's kind of the appetizer to what's to come.
So, Charlie, when is the album dropping? And new music, the world's reopening. Does that mean a tour? Maybe see you back here in Dublin?
Dublin's one of my favorite places to be. Yes, logistically, of course, there's things to work out with not just my tour, but every art. I talk to other artists, and they're figuring it out the same way that we're figuring it out. But we want nothing more than to get back out on stage um, and play for real life people. As great as internet accolades are, and TikTok's going viral, there's nothing like, I went to Brazil and headlined Rock in Rio and had 100,000 people screaming lyrics out to us of a song that I just wrote on a whim. Like, that's amazing. I never thought that would happen.
Besides playing here, what are you most looking forward to doing when you next touch down in Dublin?
How did you know that was going to be my first answer? I of course want to. I love the audience in Dublin. I have so much fun even though it was so long ago, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't wait to, this part of my career, like especially in 2020, where I was just by myself, I had to really rely on conversations that I had with myself to inspire me, because I'm so used to writing music after being in a group with real life people and being around real energy. Like We Don't Talk Anymore while on tour. I always write songs on tour. So I'm excited to see what music I'll make on the road again, because I had to really just be by myself while I made this album. I wonder what it will sound like now that things will open up eventually.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing you in Dublin. And I'm so excited that you have new music out. Thank you so much for chatting.
It's such a pleasure talking to you. And again, it's been too long of a time.
Hopefully see you soon.
See you soon. I can't wait for you to hear the album.
I can't wait either. Thanks, Charlie.